I got there because we're constantly thinking about being murdered. And it's like, how bad is that?
I will point out that William, before we started dating, asked me to go to his parents' cabin in the mountains with him for a weekend.
Yeah.
And you seriously considered it.
No, I just was like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. He was like, would you ever be interested? I'm like, yeah, I got my calendar up right now. It's a good weekend for you.
Let me send my calendar up to being murdered.
John, not John, that's Mike.
God, I wish I had a better story, but...
Will's like sharpening his knife.
What's the coolest, like, weirdest, like, coolest date you've ever been on? Like, something that's not normal, it's not dinner and a movie, just something really cool that you remember of, like, that was a fun date, even if it didn't amount to a relationship.
That'd be a cool thing.
No, answer it.
Oh. I thought you were, like, asking our people. I don't know if I have any. I really didn't date I haven't dated all that much.
Well, I have one.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask someone to tell a story.
Go for it.
So,
of course.
I had this really cool date.
It's a very me move.
It is. It's fine.
That's the only time Ashlyn's been assertive all night, too, to be fair. So, like, typically, we have to ask her to get closer to the mic and, like, speak more loudly. And this time she's like, bitch, move. I got a story.
I'm going in PR on
Let's
this.
talk about relationships. It's fine.
Putting on my transatlantic voice. Let's go.
Go for it.
So, one time, I'm just kidding. That was my attempt at transatlantic voice. All right.
Spit my spin drift into my nose, Ashlyn.
So, okay. When I was in college, I actually went to a movie one night. I went to see the new, the new Harry Potter movies. What are they called?
Oh, the Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah, I went to see Fantastic Beasts when it came out. And I go in there, and the ticket guy, I thought he was cute. He was really nice. And I didn't think anything else of it. And when I left, the lady who owns the place called me over. She was like, "Hey, come here." So I went over, and and she was like, "This guy that works here, he thought you were really pretty. Can I have your number and I can give it to him?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's so cool." So I gave it to him. And so our first date, he shut down the entire movie theater, and I got to see Beauty and the Beast before it came out.
Oh,
that's
and
cool.
We went together, and I saw it, and we had popcorn and whatever, and it was just, like, so much fun. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, and he did it, like, multiple times. And I felt bad I wasn't more attracted to him because he was a great guy.
Yeah, and all that popcorn you could have gotten. I literally told John to bring me back popcorn from the movie theater. I was like,
cookie dough bites.
Oh, Jamie is a cool one with Homeboy, the one boy.
Homeboy, the one boy.
Who?
Oh, the one that rhymes with Schmadley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did if it's the one that I think you're
lights.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lights.
It was like by the Riverwalk, right? With the candles.
Oh, yeah, that's literally the one I was thinking
yeah.
of. So this was a relationship that we had been dating for like 3 weeks, and he was like, "You're going to be the mother of my children. I'm going to marry you."
He was also one of the crazies.
So it was like really passionate.
That's a little crazy.
Really passionate. And we were both pretty young, so like whatever. You live, you learn, you do things. Okay, that was a squishy sound, and I thought the drink had hit the carpet.
No,
Almost died. So he had done like a scavenger hunt where it was like, go to this place, and then I was supposed to find a clue, and I was like all these little places that were like significant to our relationship.
The whole 2 weeks that it happened.
The whole 3 weeks that it happened. And then it was like, you go to campus, and there were a couple other places. But the worst was that like he, in Schmadley, I'm really sorry, I don't think I ever told you this, but he was like really into the details. And he, like, would give me clues, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know where to go next. And there were, like, all these really significant places to him. But, like, your girl don't really pay attention to the details. And so he's like, it was, like, really specific stuff. So anyway, I was like, I went to campus. I went to, like, maybe 3 or 4 other spots. And then he was down on, to those of you who know Augusta, he was down at the base of the amphitheater. And he'd set out, like, a blanket and roomed it with, like, lit candles. And it was, like, very sweet and, like, very thoughtful. And then there's a building. I don't know if you can still get up there, but you can go and you can sit on the roof of this building on Broad Street. And that was the coolest to me. Like, we went up there and we sat on the roof.
Was it the parking deck?
No, it was, like, a little building that's actually pretty close to where we were.
Really?
But it's, like, yeah, you used to be able to get up there, but I think they're doing, like, work on that building now, and so they police it a little more.
That's
But
cool.
it was intense, and it was, like, it was saccharine. Like, it was just very, like...
Sweet.
over sweet. Yeah. So when you were like, what's a cool date you've been on? Like, I probably wouldn't have volunteered that one unless you said that. I was
just thinking when she said that, I'm thinking extra.
Yeah. It was a little extra.
Because I remember you texting me, like, the updates of it. And then I was texting the guy I was dating at the time, like, telling him what was happening. And he was like, oh, I guess I really need to step up.
That's now reversed, because every time you and John do something cute, I angrily send a text to William, and I'm like, they get up at the same time. Oh my God.
I love that that's like that's just what like other people do too.
Yeah. I swear, since I started recording this podcast, I walk in the door on Monday nights and he looks scared. Like I'm gonna start just off the cuff, like yelling at him for shit.
He's like she's juiced up. She's
been around John and Maddie for more than 10 minutes. I'm about to get yelled at. I did something. Oh my God.
Well, like it's like I kind of view guys like it's like your fault, really.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, how else would I have met John?
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it's like it's like your fault, but also like your gift that you gave me. So it's like a gift, like a blessing and a curse, really, on your guys' part.
It's a white elephant for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's the best.
But that's the story of Schmadley, and the really intense date. I think we stopped dating like 2 weeks after that date. It was
a little longer than that, but not by much.
Wild. It's wild.
If anyone, did you have anything, Lacey? Because we're just going to go into the articles.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Homeboy.
Oh, we had to pause it.
At the movie theater, or the guy that took you to Mr. Bean?
This was movie theater.
Oh. I don't know that I would have been attracted to him either.
I don't think he's that bad looking.
I mean, it's not bad looking, but like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with him.
Those are good photos, though.
He looks a lot better than he did then.
No, that's good.
He had a ponytail.
Okay.
The glow up is real.
Shallow bitches.
Like, Lacey's like, I'll take the ponytail, let's go.
Like, you're gonna go.
Oh, he had a ponytail?
I'm not either, but the way you said that, you're like, oh, he looks better now than he did then.
He was rocking the ponytail?
This is what he looked like then. He had his hair slicked back in a damn ponytail.
He's had a glow up. I won't argue that.
Yeah, he looks good.
You should have gone in on the popcorn train.
All the regrets.
Okay.
Telling you, if they treat you right, it don't matter how they look.
I know, and I should have listened to that, because Voldemort that I just dated was a horrible person. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
So I was just going to re-preface that this is our like dating and romantic relationships podcast theme.
If you can guess that already.
Because we got like a 50-50 blend going on here, where like two of you guys are still out there like in the quote-unquote dating world. Stupid to say, but like we'll say that. And then she's married. I'm engaged. Like 200 and something days till we get married. I'm not counting. The not does it for me. Okay.
So you're not in KNFT. You're not counting.
Not counting. So I was going to start it off and kind of go around, because that should be a decent blend of articles. So I found one from, oh my God, I don't remember what it was, but it's how millennials are redefining marriage. Oh, I remember. It's from the Gottman Institute. Yes, it's the Gottman Institute, which is a research-based approach to relationships. That's, I guess, their thing. It's like the subtitle on their website. But this article specifically was How Millennials Are Redefining Marriage by Marissa Hermanson. And it was published last year on July 3rd. We'll post all this stuff once we get, I guess, our website live. So make sure we're saving our links and stuff, guys. So that we can post and people can read these.
Housekeeping.
Yeah. So that's one of our little housekeeping things. So I've been drinking, so I'm not as keen on the deets as I was earlier today. But basically, there was this article talked about how we are defining marriage as millennials. We want to focus more on our careers, our personal needs and goals, and how important it is to us to form like a stable financial basis before we get into a relationship. And there's some cool statistics that I wanted to talk about. So millennials are 3 times as likely to have never married as their grandparents were. So our grandparents, well, not my grandparents, because we fuck real young. But okay. My grandmother was out of this generation. We're not sure. Okay. Anyway, so the silent generation. The silent generation is people born between 1925 to 1942. My grandmother and my grandfather were both born after that. So my grandparents were not, but that would be my great grandparents.
We should do a pod one day where we each bring an article about that covers like what are the difference between the generations, because nobody does it exactly the same, and I think they're all fucking hilarious.
That would be interesting.
Like all the different traits of the generations.
So anyways, it was saying millennials are 3 times less likely to have never married than our grandparents were, our great-grandparents. And some of the reasons included 29% said they didn't actually feel financially ready. 26% said they hadn't found the right person, the right qualities, looking at you, Ashlyn. And 26% said they were too young, which is so funny because that's what I always thought. And it's funny to me because my mom had me at 23. And I remember being like 22, 23 and being like, holy shit, how did she have a baby at this age? So I remember thinking about that.
No, I agree. The other day I was having a conversation with my mom. She was like, I was married when I was your age, and I looked at her like she had 4 heads. I was like, what?
Yeah. My mom would have... Okay, so I'm born in 92. She got married in 90, I think. So she would have been like 22, I think. 21, 22.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
It's bananas. And that's what this article talks about. So it's saying in 1965, the average marrying age for women was 21. For men, it was 23. And today, it's 29.2 for women and 30.9 for men. And that's older for me, but younger for John. And that's from the Knot. That research was from the Knot 2017 Real Wedding Study. And actually, an Urban Institute report predicts that a significant number of millennials will remain unmarried past the age of 40.
Wow.
And
40 is a little much, but if we think about the idea that your brain is still developing up until you're like 22 or 23, like...
Well, it's not saying they're not in a relationship.
Oh.
That's saying they're unmarried. And so this article goes on to explain that a lot of millennials are choosing not to get married. And they're valuing, like, parenthood. I saw this in other things, too, that parenthood is actually being valued over marriage. So these people might still, be in a committed relationship, still might have children, they're just not married.
Yeah, just because you have a child doesn't mean you have to marry them.
Yeah, and that's so different because...
I feel like that's something that, like, our parents and grandparents, like...
completely didn't see. And I'll get into that into a minute.
Of course, that would be ideal.
Yeah, you're also looking at like a shift away from like traditional religious America too.
Totally,
and I think that's part of it with those two generations.
Oh, for sure. And I remember even saying to my mom one time, like, maybe I will have kids and not be married, and she was like, "Well, you wouldn't want that because they'd
be born in sand."
Well, and my mom didn't care about that because that's not my mom, and that wasn't her thing. Her perspective more on it was like the kids' mental well-being. Like, that perspective on it.
Yeah.
But then divorce is so easy on children,
Well, and I'm about to get to that in a minute.
Although my little, naive-minded self watched One Tree Hill and saw Brooke Davis adopted a daughter, and it was like, I can do that.
So so it's 8:21 right now. I'm going to try and keep my explanation to the next 4 minutes. Okay. So, obviously, feel free to jump in, though.
Matt's trying to keep us on track.
Yes. But like I said, feel free to jump in. So another thing I thought was cool or interesting, I could start it. For the first time in history, this is a quote from Brooke Jen. Sorry, Brooke. For the first time in history, people are experiencing marriage as an option instead of a necessity. She's a married millennial and a relationship coach. And she also mentioned how millennials are redefining and... sorry, hold on. Redefined and approached with more reverence. Okay, so we are redefining marriage and we're approaching it with more reverence and mindfulness than before. Well, and what I really liked about this article, so the next piece of it was how millennials place personal needs and values first. And there's actually I didn't highlight a whole lot in this first paragraph because it just resonated a lot. And so I didn't feel like I needed to highlight a lot. But this woman, I am going to butcher her name. It's Nekpen Osuwan. She's the co-founder of women's empowerment organization Women Work, and that's work. The snap, WERK. And she's 32 and plans on marrying later. And something she was talking about, and this is a pulled from this article, but that she said that she is mindful of finding someone who shares her same values, her values in marriage, religion, and politics. And that was something I felt so important to me. Like, I knew I had to find somebody who was progressive, left-leaning, somebody who was just, believed in equality. And honestly, left-leaning kind of, unfortunately, in the South, kind of definitely means, you know, they believe more in equality and they are more progressive and more, and, you know, more favor in LGBTQ rights. That's just kind of how it is down here. And finding somebody like that here in the South is hard.